Hi everyone. Welcome to Whispers of Calm, a channel to share and develop yourself more comprehensively every day. I am Darling. There is a magical book like this, so simple that even a 6-year-old child can understand it. Yet, it has created a global sensation since its publication in 1998. The English-speaking world and successful individuals refer to it as a life-changing revelation. And that book is the novel, Who Moved My Cheese? The author is Spencer Johnson, one of the most respected writers in the world. Through a simple allegorical story about two little people and two mice searching for cheese in a maze, he highlights a significant issue in today's society. More and more people are getting stuck in their own mental self-destruction, exemplified by overthinking and complicating problems, ultimately cornering themselves in the dead ends of the maze and rejecting change. If you are still filled with anxiety, confusion, and in a state of overthinking, this book may provide you with motivation and a remedy for change. Now, let's listen to a sharing from Whispers of Calm titled, The Core Way to Stop Overthinking, through the novel, Who Moved My Cheese? The fastest way to destroy yourself is to think too much. Two little people, Slow and Sniff, along with two mice named Scurry and Sniff, live in a maze. Their daily task is to search for cheese. One day, as usual, while running around the maze, they accidentally discover a cheese station filled with an abundance of delicious cheese. Initially, all four of them would wake up early every day. Each had their own skills to navigate and find cheese. But soon, in their immense joy over an endless supply of cheese, the two little people began to change. They started waking up later, no longer persevering in their search, and stopped worrying about finding cheese daily. The spirits of Slow and Sniff began to breed complacency, and their weight skyrocketed. In contrast, the two mice remained vigilant, checking daily for any changes in the cheese supply. The little people thought they could live comfortably like this for the rest of their lives. But that happy time didn't last long. Suddenly, one day, all the cheese disappeared. The slow and complacent ones were initially shocked. Then they began to blame each other, accusing someone of stealing the cheese with harsh words. Within a few days, they cried out in hunger, despair, and helplessness. Why did the author choose to build the characters as humans and mice? The significant difference between humans and animals lies in the brain and the ability to think. However, sometimes, complex thoughts can lead a person into an internal maze, trapping themselves in a dead end. The two little mice never overanalyze things. When the situation at the cheese station changed, Scurry and Sniff decided to adapt immediately, running through the maze to find a new cheese station. Meanwhile, the two little people spent a long time analyzing what to do next. They analyzed and reanalyzed the situation, complicating the issue. Thoughts like, "What the heck is happening here? Why is this happening to me?" filled their minds and clouded their thoughts. And then, while Scurry and Sniff found a new cheese station, Slow and Sniff were still evaluating the situation at the old cheese station, immersed in the pain of losing their cheese. In reality, what causes you the most suffering is not losing something or having someone go against your wishes, but rather the relentless internal struggle within you, the self-destructive thinking. And overthinking is the fastest way to exhaust yourself. In psychology, there is a term called rumination. The word rumination means to chew again, similar to how ruminant animals like cows, goats, and deer eat food, swallow it, and then chew it again. A person with ruminative thinking is someone who keeps thinking about an idea or thought repeatedly, gradually getting caught in a loop, but never able to make a specific decision or solution. Slow and Sniff fell into this ruminative state when their cheese was lost. And you? Are you also ruminating over wanting to have some cheese? Because if you hold onto that cheese, or because you lost a piece of cheese, are you overthinking and crushing your own spirit? What if I had tried a little harder? Then I wouldn't be in this situation? What if I had chosen to do that, studied like this, and still got a low score? Does that mean I'm incompetent? Why does my boss look at me like that? What did she mean by saying that to me? Why didn't he reply to my message today? Does my mom not trust me by doing that? There will be countless questions like this. Ruminative thinking always accompanies sensitivity. Even the smallest matters can make you think for a long time. This way of thinking is like the seductive power of an addiction. If you're not careful, you'll fall into a state of confusion, unable to find a way out. Moreover, the negative emotions it brings are no different from a suffocating quagmire. Yet it makes people addicted to it and gradually wears down their strength to free themselves. As a result, the anxieties of daily life become larger, ultimately drowning you completely. The late writer Duong Jiang once said, "Your problem is that you read too little and think too much." Indeed, many people at night think of thousands of paths for the future, but still follow the same old path the next morning. If our worries and thoughts keep gnawing at us without any action to resolve them, they will surely grow larger like a snowball, ultimately weighing us down and suffocating us. No one can help you at this moment, unless you decide to throw a punch to break through your emotional turmoil and escape the chaotic maze of your own mind. The root cause of all distress is overthinking and underdoing. Among the two little people, Slow is the first to save himself. He no longer wants to sit idly by and die but intends to return to searching for cheese every day as he did before. Yuli disagrees and questions what will happen if they don't find any cheese. What if they encounter risks? But Slow doesn't want to think too much anymore. He drags his weak body, staggering around the maze. Occasionally, he finds a piece of cheese that has been left behind, quickly grabs it, and swallows it. Gradually, he regains his strength, and his mood improves significantly. Whenever he feels discouraged, he reminds himself that even though what he is doing now doesn't make him feel comfortable, it is still much better than being stuck in a situation with no cheese to eat. At least he is controlling the situation. By stopping overthinking and continuously pushing himself like that, Slow eventually finds Cheese Station N just like the little mice. This time, he is no longer obsessed with and reliant on the huge stockpile of cheese. Instead, he goes to Station N every day to eat cheese and then runs around the maze to continue searching. Meanwhile, Yuli is still complaining about the loss, waiting for death to approach slowly. This ending reminds me of the famous water glass experiment in psychology. A professor held up a glass of water and asked the students to guess how much it weighed. Some said 5 grams. Others said 10 grams. The professor shook his head and said that the weight of the water does not depend on grams but on the time you hold it. The first time you hold it, it may weigh only 5 grams. But if you hold it all day, it might feel like it weighs 100 pounds. So how do you get rid of this burden? The answer is to put it down. It's that simple. Once you take this first action, you will be able to take the right subsequent actions. The root cause of all burdens of anxiety is that you are thinking too much and doing too little. Those who overthink always want to know more, want to stay updated, and want to be sure of everything before they start doing. However, the desire for smoothness and striving for perfection only leads to more problems. Endless thoughts will drain the willpower and physical resources that you should use to solve problems. The best way to stop self-destructive thinking is to stop looking outward and redirect your attention inward. Focusing entirely on actions in the present moment. If you lose a piece of cheese, go find another piece. If it doesn't work this time, focus on learning for the next time. If your boss looks at you with a certain attitude, focus on doing your work today as diligently as possible. If someone says something that hurts you, go arrange a bouquet. Exercise to keep your body healthy. Or do something you enjoy. Often, one action is better than 1,000 thoughts. A change is worth much more than meaningless persistence. Instead of torturing yourself in internal self-destruction, it's better to use action to break this deadlock. Who moved my cheese? Just let them take it. Perhaps many of you still wonder, knowing that overthinking is not good, but still cannot take control. What should you do, but still cannot act to change? At this point, you need to understand a truth. Behind your self-destructive behavior is the fact that you still have too many expectations. The author wrote in the book that the maze symbolizes the complexity of real society and also represents the inner world of humans. Cheese symbolizes the things you desire most at a certain stage in life. It could be a high-paying job, a happy relationship, a healthy body, a beautiful villa, affirmation from others, or a prize for winning a competition. Each of us is searching for a piece of cheese for ourselves. We believe that having that piece of cheese will bring happiness. But once we hold happiness in our hands, many begin to depend on it. And when it is lost, they feel hurt. In reality, this is a terrifying vicious cycle in the maze. If you do not maintain awareness, you can easily get lost and not find a way out. Before you have cheese, you crave it. When you don't achieve it, you doubt yourself and resent your circumstances. And when you finally get it, you will be satisfied and unwilling to leave your comfort zone. Ultimately, if you lose it, you fall into a state of panic. Throughout this process, there are many changes that you cannot control. At any moment, something unexpected can happen. And if your heart still places too many expectations on that piece of cheese, you will be overwhelmed by various emotions and thoughts, leading to failure in many aspects of life. In psychology, there is an effect called the Wallander effect, named after a tightrope walker named Wallander. Previously, he was always fully focused on walking the tightrope, so he succeeded every time. But one time, before going on stage, he emphasized the importance of this performance and said that he could not fail. Unexpectedly, the result was that he accidentally slipped and died. Social psychologists call this the Wallander mindset, which refers to a person's psychology who does not focus on the task at hand but only worries about the potential gains and losses. In life, if we pay too much attention to outcomes and others' evaluations, we will overlook the task itself, encounter more pressure, think more, and easily self-destruct mentally. In this state, everything often develops in the opposite direction of your expectations. Therefore, the best way to stop overthinking is to take action. The way to maintain action freely and joyfully is to stop focusing on the outcome. Once you no longer hold any expectations for a piece of cheese, you will stop thinking, "I must pass the entrance exam for school A or B. I must prove to my parents that I can earn more money. She must love me as much as I love her. I don't want to be ridiculed. Others must respect me," etc. Then you will have much less to worry about and think about related to cheese. No matter what happens, if someone says something to you in a harsh tone or with a disdainful look, you will remain steadfast, not easily shaken. However, letting go of expectations for outcomes does not mean you will give up on what you want to do. No one can bind you except yourself. Only by letting go of expectations can you truly be free and do things that bring real value to yourself. Regarding what you will do, trust that a simple, pure self, free from noise, will guide you. This is the secret to success. As the self-taught genius Faraday once said, "Pursue success with all your heart, but do not expect success. The result will often be success." Each of us is a shining blade in our own world, while just a speck of dust in someone else's world. Therefore, placing expectations on others and material things, or fame and status in the outside world will only lead you to live a life of wasted effort. You will find that stopping placing expectations on cheese is not only the core way to stop overthinking and end self-destructive behavior but also helps you truly achieve what you desire in freedom and joy of life. At that point, you will no longer worry, fear, or want to ask, "Who moved my cheese? Who took my cheese away?" It doesn't matter. When you have it, keep your original intention and will. When you lose it, let it go. Don't think too much. Simplify everything complicated like the little mice. Take immediate action. And importantly, do not expect anything from anyone or anything. as the spiritual master of the Maldives. Hernando once said, "I just do and do not worry about the outcome. If I do not succeed, I will accept it." When the book, Who Moved My Cheese, was published, it immediately topped the global bestseller list. Over the past 20 years, this book has inspired and motivated millions of people seeking survival opportunities in life. Many refer to the story of searching for cheese in the maze as a lesson to master life, to step out of their comfort zones, and to have the courage to change. However, alongside it, there is still a segment of society that desperately wants to change but cannot. These are often people struggling with self-destructive behavior, such as anxiety, procrastination, depression, and overthinking. In such cases, we initially resemble the little person Yuli, feeling angry, doubtful, and hesitant. Then we may become like Slow, regaining calmness through reflection, and then bravely taking the first step toward change. The best way is still to live like a little mouse, focusing on the present, letting go of any expectations, thinking less, and doing more. There is a saying that life means living it, not just thinking about it. On the journey of life, the slowest steps are not the half-hearted ones, but rather going back and forth, getting caught up in endless thoughts, while the fastest steps are those that move forward, fully engaged in the present moment. Do not dwell on the past that cannot be salvaged or burden yourself with worries about the future that has not yet arrived, and miss the beauty of the moment right now. Simplify everything complicated with a heart that no longer clings to expectations of anyone or anything, and you will eventually realize that life is a process of gradual elimination. You will naturally know what is unimportant and what truly matters to you, becoming a simpler person and living a truly free life. Finally, I would like to share a few lines of poetry with you. Spring will be beautiful when the flowers bloom. Summer is lovely with the wind blowing. Autumn is charming with the full moon. And winter is beautiful with the falling white snow. The most beautiful seasons only exist in life when the heart is no longer troubled. I hope that in your life, all 4 seasons are the most beautiful ones. Thanks for listening. If you find this video useful, please give me a like button. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to watch my latest videos. Once again, thank you and see you in the next videos.